Sunday, fam. Happy mama day. Oh, out there, every single mama, you're the salt of the earth. Happy Mother's Day, fam. If you haven't got your mom a gift by now or those kind of things, you can go ahead and take care of that. I'm going to go ahead because I've already taken care of those things, being the responsible person that I am. And then you say, but Ron, if you're so responsible, why are we having to wait way past the predicted time? Let us begin. Measuring 49ers' current potential. Now, fam, that the dust has settled as far as personnel additions, the Niners will be getting back to work this weekend to start the process of who is good enough to be a member of the 5-time world champion San Francisco 49ers. The 2022 rookie draft class has been assembled, and we'll be checking in with Coach Shanahan this Friday, May the 13th. Meanwhile, this is that time of year when the ridiculous power rankings and even more obnoxious predictions get underway. So with that said, we may as well join in on the melee and fun. All right? Tonight, after going over a few brief details about the good guys, us, and other NFL teams, here on Ronbo Sports, we'll be taking your phone calls to hear your way too soon prognostications of the Niners' chances for glory in 2022. Ready to go? You can get ready to go right now. Don't start, man. Don't even come in here. Fam, according to the hardworking Brianna McDonald, 49ers.com contributor, her number-crunching efforts have gathered, she's gathered from around the NFL, look a lot like this. Following free agency deals and the addition of 9 draft picks, national analysts have forecasted the Niners' potential success for the upcoming season. Hey, believe it or not, many NFL experts have placed the 49ers in the top 10 of their list. Many. I don't know what constitutes many, but many. and foresee the team to be a strong contender heading into the 2022 season with their added playmakers and key returnees. Let's take a look at where several national media outlets have placed San Francisco in their post-draft power rankings, starting with NFL.com. They rank the 49ers currently at number 5. The Niners don't seem at all eager to move superstar wide receiver Deebo Samuel. Trade demand be damned. Kyle Shanahan said on last Friday the 49ers have yet, and I mean yet, quote, to receive an offer that was even remotely close to what they'd consider fair. See? And you knew this. This is what the 49ers do. If they got somebody they don't necessarily want to say goodbye to, they go ahead and act like, man, ain't nobody offered us nothing. You got to blow us away with an offer. Just keep that in mind for anybody else that may be leaving. Okay, everybody. NFL.com, 2021 NFL draft ranking 9. That's plus 4 points better than last year. Okay, NFL.com sees better things ahead. All right. SportingNews.com ranks the 49ers currently at number 6. The Niners still have Trey Lance with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. But the bigger non-trade news is keeping Deebo Samuel as a primary key cog in their offense, supporting loaded weapons behind a sturdy line. Behind a sturdy line? I hope so. I have not seen it yet, but I hope so. They didn't have the best draft because they didn't really need one. Whoa! But they will get a defensive boost from a healthy Javon Kinlaw and free agent additions Javarius Ward. Sporting News, 2021 NFL draft ranking number 5. That's -1 from 6 last year. No, that's one better than last year, right? What did you say? Sporting News 6, right? And this year 5. That's one better than one last year. USA Today says we're number 7 right now in the past 3 seasons. This team has advanced to a Super Bowl and NFC title game with Jimmy Garoppolo behind center. Adding Javarius Ward will help address the holes in the secondary. This is a team capable of losing to the Seahawks one or both weeks during the regular season and still popping up to haunt the divisional round. Doubt that at your own risk. USA Today. Comedy. Their ranking stays at number 7 from last year and stays the same. CBS Sports, number 9, Niners. The quarterback situation is still unsettled, and if it's Trey Lance as a starter, they might have to be patient early on. There is still an abundance of talent on the roster to make it a lot easier for him. Quote, CBS 2021 NFL Draft ranking 6. That's minus 3 points. Better, or should I say worse than last year. Last year was 6, this year 9. I don't pay any attention to them. Bleacher Report says we are number 14 this year. The San Francisco 49ers weren't a big factor in the 2022 draft, not after mortgaging their futures a year ago to trade up and draft quarterback Trey Lance. The question now, after Lance spent most of 2021 watching Jimmy Garoppolo lead the Niners to the NFC title game, is whether Lance will get his chance to start this season. If he does, teammate George Kittle thinks the sky is a limit for the youngster. Kittle said recently on the I Am Athlete podcast, quote, I love all my quarterbacks. Trey has an insane ceiling. Just needs some reps here and there. Just got to throw the ball a little bit more. You can't really get better without playing games. How much better were you your rookie season to your third year? Question mark. Just going against competition, getting hit, and getting back up. Dealing with adversity. How do you deal with it? Question mark. Guys that come to the NFL and win their entire life and get hit in the face a couple of times, it's different. It's a learning process. Jimmy was a fantastic person for Trey to learn under for sure. Unquote GK. Bleacher Report, 2021 NFL Draft ranking was 11. That's down 3 from last year's 14, or this year's 14. As for the rest of the NFC West, here's how the Niners' adversaries fared. Arizona Cardinals, their highest ranking was 15 by Bleacher Report. Their lowest ranking, number 20 from NFL.com. The Los Angeles Rams, highest ranking, number 1, USA Today. CBS Sports Bleacher Report. Lowest ranking was from CBS Bleacher Report at number 5. See, CBS understands the gravity of this situation. You can't just get rid of Whitworth and a few others and have an ailing OBJ sitting around talking about, I'll be back. No, he won't. Rams, forget about it. This is a generous offer at number 5. I'm sorry. That was CBS saying the highest ranking. Bleacher Report, lowest ranking at number 5. SportingNews.com, Seattle Seahawks, highest ranking 23, NFL.com. Lowest ranking 28, Bleacher Report once again. Well, you know what I want to do? Let's do it quickly around before I go to the phones. Some of what is being said is hilarious and pure entertainment around the rest of the league. I'll just go over a few. I'm talking up there with the humor. You ever hear Stephen A. Smith talk about Kyrie Irving? Stephen A. Smith gets on my nerves, but when he's talking about Kyrie Irving, it does make me laugh. Or Ben Simmons. So he's all over those two dudes like a cheap suit. Stephen A. is kind of funny as long as he's not talking about the 49ers. He talks about the Cowboys. I enjoy that stuff too, but Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons, boy, if I was y'all, man, I'd say Stephen A. Smith. I got to put out a hit out in your ass. Anyway, let me look down here because here's the thing, right? Jacksonville will be picking number 1 again next year. They're ranked number 32, no matter what they do. I know, but Trent Baalke probably says, this is just a habit people have. Team finishes poorly the year before. They assume that they're going to be bad next year as well. I tell you right now, what I've done is made some changes, and I guarantee that the Jacksonville Jaguars will compete in 2022. Twint. You said that about the 49ers how many years? Jill, sorry. I'm still mad about that. Anyway, the Jags are not going anywhere. Houston, Texas, 4-13. They're not predicted to go anywhere either. Atlanta Falcons, 7-10. You know what? The Falcons, though, are a victim of circumstances. The Falcons finally succumbed to a rebuild by trading away the most prolific quarterback in franchise history. What's left behind is a cachet of athletic players, Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder at quarterback, and the league's 30th ranked defense. This won't be a very good team, but it can at least be a fun one to watch. You're going to watch them happen. This is one of those teams that could jump up and bite people in the booty, though. See, when the minute you think a team's not going to do well, especially a young team, that's when they come out and snap you up. The Detroit Lions, Don Berg, you will do 3-13. You will also be picking in the top 5 in the draft again in 2023. Don, you need to learn how to embrace that position as just the follower of a team that's going to get their ass kicked most likely most of the time. It's the organizational issue. It's not about the personnel. Let me go down here a little further. There's some more. Seems like my computer doesn't want to show. Don Burr is having some kind of effect on my computer. Oh, there we go. The Chicago Bears are again going to have another. They're 6-11. They're going to struggle again next year, or should I say this upcoming season. It's going to take a while for them to get their system in order. Michael, I know that you were waiting for that. I bet you probably already know about that and agree. After Mooney, you're looking at their Darnell Mooney, Byron Pringle, Quinius St. Brown, Velus Jones, Daz Newsome, Cole Kmet, James O'Shaughnessy. A lot of teams, it's all a matter of the problem. We went through this, so we already know. You know what I'm saying? The Seahawks, Hawks, for a change, everybody's not just looking at you as the perennial powerhouse. You're 7-10 this year, and you're at number 27. You're going to get a better draft pick this year, though, if you have any picks left. You may have traded those all away. The Giants will continue to suffer at 4-13 at 26. Why am I laughing? We were like this a few years ago. Carolina Panthers, you will be 5-12 at 25. And we'll have anything to say there. I'll get down to some of the NFC West teams. But just to let you get an idea, it's what's going on. The next one is of kind of surprised if I can get my system to work here. I might have to quit this because there's something wrong here with my feed. Now, the New York Jets, 4-13 at 24. That sounds about right. Robert Saleh has still got some things he's got to get cleared up. First, he's got to get Wilson under control. Wilson is, as Robert Saleh came out that day on that interview, had me laughing. Robert Saleh is his face is solely pissed off. He looked at the camera. It's okay to be plain every now and then. Just basic. It's fine. Robert, what are you talking about? I thought you got Zach because he reminds people of a more paler complexion, Patrick Mahomes. Washington Commanders are coming in at 23 and 7-10 is the best you're supposed to be going to do. Pittsburgh Steelers 9-7 at 22. The Steelers are one of those organizations. They're just not going to keep. They're not going to lose all the time. The Vikings coming in at 21, 8-9. Maybe that's 6. That number doesn't make sense though. If the Steelers are 9-7 at 22, why would the Vikings be 8-9 at 21? Maybe the level of competition or something? Going down here further. New Orleans is doing everything they can to get better. They're going to be 8-9 and be at number 20. Jameis. It's probably your fault. Come on, my feed keeps dying on me. Arizona Cardinals, and that's who we're concerned about. Now, here's the Cardinals. This is bizarre. The Cardinals are ranked at number 18, but they will go 11-6. Now, here's what they're saying about the Cardinals. The Cardinals don't get to crack the top half of the league until they can prove they're capable of getting through a December without vomiting down their own chest. Cliff Kingsbury is 8-17 over the final 8 games of the season and playoffs in his NFL career, which includes an impotent 34-11 wildcard loss. Last January, Arizona invested heavily to keep Kyler Murray's arsenal stocked and with weapons. Will that be enough to keep the team competitive after Thanksgiving Day? No! Sean, your team, get ready to do a lot more crime. Keep those tissues, those supplies stacked up. The Patriots, number 17, 10-7. I don't know. Bill Belichick's kind of a scary guy. Here's the thing. Philadelphia Eagles won the draft. They are predicted they're going to be number 16 at 9-8. Even with A.J. Brown, it just doesn't matter. A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, that's Jalen Hurts has got a lot. It's about Hurts is what it is. He's got to get better, too. At number 15, the Dolphins. Here's the thing about the Dolphins, which is interesting. Miami added loads of talent around Tua, bringing players like Tyreek Hill, Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, Cedric Wilson, Teron Armstead, and Connor Williams to South Florida. Now the Dolphins need to figure out whether Tua can he make the leap, become the franchise favorite new head coach Mike McDaniel hopes he can be, even if he's merely average in all the talent. Hey, fam, you know what? I got to tell you, a lot of these things are kind of, this is not, I don't believe it myself. The Raiders are picked with all that talent. The Raiders weren't that bad last year. They're picked at number 14, 9-8. But you notice I haven't mentioned the 49ers yet with these fighting. Indy Colts, 9-8, and I do not see that happening. I see the Colts probably winning that division, actually. That's a lot of talent, unless they're talking about injury. The Denver Broncos, one of the daunted AFC teams that is worrying me to death because every last one of them are on our schedule, are picked at number 12. 7-10 is their predicted record. Really? In fact, what's really interesting, at number 11, Tennessee Titans, of course that makes sense. Any team that's got Derrick Henry is going to be dangerous, regardless of whoever else on that team. Derrick Henry is a mutant. And actually, if they ever start passing laws against letting mutants play professional human sport, Derrick Henry's out of here. Also, at number 10, the Chargers. 9-8 is going to be their record. Strange, huh? The Chargers look potent as can be, don't they? 9-8. You notice I haven't mentioned 49ers yet? The Dallas Cowboys, number 9, 12-5. Let me talk about the Cowboys, though. The Dak Prescott Cowboys feel like southern extension of the Green Bay Packers. Great regular season. Lost without their MVP candidate quarterback and liable for stunning betrayals in the playoffs. Dallas will win the NFC East because it would be genuinely shocking if anyone else did. What comes next will probably be the disappointment because that's what the last 2 decades of Cowboy football have conditioned us all to believe. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Let them be Ravens and Dolphins and Niners and such. Speaking of the Ravens, with all that they do, prognostication is 8-9. This is the Ravens' tailback rotation probably won't be devastated by injury again. The 2019 NFL MVP remains quarterback and is just 25 years old, though he'll be throwing his throwing has become a bit of a concern. Baltimore reloaded heavily at this year's draft by snapping up every available player that held and beefed it up to a strong pass defense by adding Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton in the safety rotation. The stage is set for the Ravens. Can they do it? And San Francisco, we are picked in the top 10 at number 7. Yes, we will. What do they say about us? What are they saying about the 49ers? Operate under 2 core tenets. A, we're going to throw an inexhaustible supply of high-level pass rushers at you until you die. B, please do not look at our quarterback. Find this writer after I get through here. In the past 3 seasons, this team advanced to a Super Bowl and NFC title game with Jimmy Garoppolo. My system is really acting crazy here. Jimmy Garoppolo behind center, adding Travarius Ward will help address the holes in the secondary. This is a team capable of losing. Everybody's making jokes about losing to the Seahawks and both times weeks during the regular season and still managing to pop up to haunt the divisional round. Doubt all of this at your own risk. Buccaneers 13-4. They will finish at number 6 and number 5. Those are all playoff teams. You're talking about now, right? Number 6, because how many teams? 8 teams go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, about that, right? Green Bay will finish at number 5. And Aaron Rodgers keeps winning MVPs, but now has to prove himself with the receiving core led by Alan Lazard, a rookie wideout from the FCS. Christian Watson, a soon-to-be 32-year-old who was 8-16 receiving yards in the last 2 seasons combined. Randall Cobb. Quickly, Kansas City Chiefs, you're number 4 at 12-5. And the Bengals are number 3. This year, the Bengals will be the Cinderella team, apparently. The Bengals' last second effort to the Super Bowl 56 was undone by the offensive line issues that plagued them all season. So they went out and got 4 new blockers. And this spring, Daxton Hill and Cam Taylor-Britt should address the team's weaknesses. In the secondary, Cincinnati had a good team and did the legwork to get better in 2022. Will that be enough to defend its AFC crown? Buffalo, of course, you're at number 2 at 11-6. And you notice I've not mentioned that team down in SoCal because it seems almost unanimous that the Rams will finish as a top dog in the 2023 Derby. Crap. They'll do a 12-5. The king stays the king, even if the Rams' foundation is built on aging players and one vital injury could stress LA's precarious depth to a point of failure. Matthew Stafford did the damn thing and left the Lions in Detroit. Cooper Kupp emerged as a one-man offense. Cam Akers should be healthy for the full season and flanked by Darrell Henderson and Kyron Williams. The defense added Bobby Wagner. Most experts would suggest this is not bad. Not bad at all. Rams, you're going down. You are going down. I can see it already. You are dead meat. I can't wait to get to this season. Woo! Let us now go to the phone and say hello again. Hey, John, get in here, John. John, is that 49ers Ultimate Report? John! Oh, John! John?
Yep.
Hey,
What's up, Ronbo?
Hey, John. Well, John, what is your prognostication? Have you got a feel for what we should be able to accomplish in the NFC West? We've talked about these people a lot in the last few minutes. So where do you put us with what we've done to this team? Please share with us.
Ronbo, before I start, I've been hearing that there's a Chicago's Bear fan that goes by Michael.
That's him.
And, I have to say to Don Byrne, thank you very much for, now bringing, I saw some Packer fans. I won't be surprised now the Vikings. So I want to say to Don Byrne, you're welcome for all these. Yeah, just bring all these idiots because guess what? Everybody wants to be 49er fans. And Don Burr, we can welcome you into the 49er empire, but for whatever the reason, you keep saying Detroit versus everybody. So I wanted to start off by saying that because Don Burr, for whatever the reason, is never going to leave us alone. So I wanted to say that first. Now,
salute to Don B.
So to the question, last year, I'm going to go by last year, and if the 49ers were healthy, everything went well for us, I thought the Niners could win 12, 13 games. And I said the worst case scenario, the 49ers were going to go 9-8. The Niners finished 10-7. So
close.
For us, as a 49er fan, oh man, injuries always tick me off, and that's a conversation for another time. But the point is that if the 49ers, of course, when we look at the outlook of what's going to happen as we get closer to training camp, we still don't know what the Jimmy situation is. Hopefully the Niners do what's right and, just move him off to a team that really wants him, because it's time for Trey Lance. We have to see what we have there. We invested a lot of picks for him, so I see that. As long as we can stay healthy, I think this team, when you look at all the pieces we got in free agency, what we did in the draft, a lot of hidden gems in the draft, it's about health. And if we can stay healthy, we can run the table. Again, if we're a healthy team, we play really well, we can run the table. Now, I'm not going to do a prediction because I don't really do that stuff.
Too soon. Just give arbitrary. You can just something random. It doesn't have to be so serious. We're going to do it seriously later. But go ahead.
Yeah. But if we can stay healthy, just like I said last year, we can win 12 games if we can stay healthy. Of course, as long as we have, our running back room healthy, because last year the running backs got hurt. So, that wasn't good for us. Jimmy Garoppolo, again, the question marks, his inconsistency, the mistakes at the worst time. So, and he got hurt. So, it was just not good for us. So for me, all I can say, if we stay healthy, our running backs stay healthy, because we run the football. And I've said this, it's going to be unpopular. We're never going to have a wide receiver with over 100 catches, maybe 1,600 yards, with the numbers of Cooper Kupp, because we don't throw the ball a lot under Kyle's offense. So as long as we have a good running back room, we can figure out what's on the line. The offense is going to be fun to watch with Trey Lance. And on the defensive side, if we can figure out who's going to be that other edge rusher, if Kinlaw can stay healthy, again, we can run the table. We got a lot of secondary safeties and corners. I like what we have. And then if we can maybe 11 or 12 victories, I'll be fine.
As will the 49ers. That'll get you in the playoffs. It's going to be rough out there next year. 11 or 12 wins will get you in. I'm feeling pretty confident about that. So, yeah.
Yeah. And to the Rams fans, because for whatever the reason, there's someone called Ready to Go. I know about Rudy. Rudy, some of his days, he's very cool and mellow. The other days, he acts who he acts. So to the Rams fans, you're not. And Rudy, I like you. You're a good dude. I've had you on my channel. You guys are not having a 3 to 5 year dynasty. I disagree with that. I wanted to say that.
Did he predict that? Rudy knows better than to come in here saying that, because he'll be met by a barrage of just what? But yes, Rudy, is that right? Three-year dynasty? Please, you people are their guys are too old. They're not going to be playing at a high level. They're going to get some more old people next year, because that's what they do, John. But the thing is, you're going to run out of old people at some point. They're going to either retire wherever they are, or they're going to go to another team. You can't get all the old stars to keep coming to San Francisco. That Bobby Wagner deal, that was amazing. I am impressed with that, though.
Anyway, I know you have a lot of callers, Ronbo. It's always great taking my phone call.
Appreciate you, John. Always a pleasure. All right. We'll see you later then. All right, fam. He's the 49ers Ultimate Report. Check him out as Don Burr brings his traveling all-stars over to that side as well, over to that channel as well. Good night. Good night, John.
And, of course, just like always, shout out to Norma. It's Niners all day.
Good night, John. Oh, and speaking of which, here comes Michael from Chicago.
Oh, I have a story to tell about Don Burr. So I was just chilling on my channel watching WrestleMania backwards, which was better than I thought, by the way. And guess who was in my comments section? Don
I mean,
Burr.
oh, God, I would have never guessed.
Shocker. Hey, I was like, Don Burr, hop on the panel so I can give you a Stone Cold Stunner.
God, he's just amazing. The abuse the man can handle is beyond belief. If I were Don Burr and everywhere I went became the butt of just about every joke, I couldn't handle it. My ego, wow, whoa. Anyway, but listen, looking at the predictions, Michael, the prognosticators around the NFL still think Chicago's going to have to go through another year of transition. Do you think that's going to be the case? Are you guys ready to bust out?
Honestly, I know we ain't. I know we ain't making the playoffs. I know we're probably going to be second because Minnesota, although they do have a firepower offense, they don't have a firepower defense. And don't get me started on Detroit.
Please. They've made some adjustments, you know. They were that high in the draft. You know, it takes 2 years of those kind of draft picks, and they'll be high on the order again. So, Michael, this may be the last year to put the spotlight on Detroit.
They don't deserve a spotlight. Every time, the only spotlight they get is Thanksgiving, and then they lose in embarrassing fashion ways. Like the fact that Lions fans look, Don Bird, if you guys sweep us or like beat us one time, I'll be happily to come on this show and tell you how great the Lions are. I'll actually make that bet right now to Don Bird.
That's so far from now. You know what? That could be a decade away. You know what's really funny though? That Thanksgiving thing. I've been complaining about that for the last 4 or 5 seasons. Why did the NFL make it a policy that the Cowboys and the Lions? Why can't that shift? You know, I mean, we don't. I don't want to. It just ruins Thanksgiving Day to see the Cowboys and the Lions every Thanksgiving. Hey, wait a minute. Did they add a third contest this year finally?
Yeah, they always do. I believe it the last 3 times I've seen like the Saints and the Falcons, or like the Saints versus. Oh yeah, last year was the Saints versus the Bills.
Right, that was a treat, refreshing treat, wasn't it? Was last year the first year they did that? Because nobody wants to see the tired Lions come out there and get their ass handed to them again. And the Cowboys.
At least the Cowboys are relevant. At least the Cowboys are relevant.
That's true, but if you had enough of the Cowboys, being a 49er fan, I personally got a thing against the Cowboys. So I just assume, I take it personally. Policy, NFL be damned. You guys, why can't the 49ers? Because the Cowboys are America's team. Oh, is that a reason we're going to continue to go with? That narrative died a long time ago. So, these are one of the things. I could go on and on. I'm not going to do that, but the Cowboys don't have to be on Thanksgiving Day every year.
Same with Detroit.
Yeah.
For the record, I have no issues with the Detroit Lions fans, but there's only one person in that fan base that makes me sick to my stomach, and that I believe that the Lions fans took his card away when I kept showing them messages about what Don Bird has been saying in our own live streams about how the Lions are better than the Bears, or the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl. And he's from what I heard from a little birdie, he's the Detroit Lions whisperer.
Hey, I like that title for him. He is the Lions whisperer, Don Burr. I wish I could have kept some of them sound bites so I could play those every now and then just for comedy relief. Detroit versus the world. And production would immediately cut him off, right? But he would get that
You're
in.
not going to cut off Don Bird that easily. Someone actually tried blocking Don Bird, and he just kept coming back in accounts. One of the Bears fans that I know actually blocked him, and then he came in under a burner account, and then he blocked the burner account, and then he came in with another one.
Guys like he's like a rash or herpes or something. You know, he just keeps reoccurring. You know, I like the way you refer to him as Don Bird. You know, Don, I'm gonna start calling you Don Bird too.
Only difference between me and Don Bird is I'm actually a part of a team that may not be better, but may not be like historic, but it's better than being a Lions fan. And Don Bird, if you're watching, please just come out and admit that you're a Bears fan, and we'll welcome you in with open arms.
By the way, you'll love this too. Jungle 889 says Don Bird is really from Windsor, Canada. Listen, Mike, we got to go, and always fun. We'll actually Monday Night Raw coming up. We'll see you tomorrow if you got time. All right.
All right, bet.
Wait, oh my God, Texas boy makes a showing. Hey, Fly Guy.
Ronbo.
Fly Guy. You know, Fly Guy, we this week we get our new kids on the block. We assembling at Santa Clara with Coach Shanahan. We made some. Everybody's talking about Javarius Ward as being the missing link, and you know, you want to make some predictions right now as to how we look against the NFC West, the Arizona Cardinals, who also have a problem after Thanksgiving Day. The Hawks have been reduced to the oil you put in the skillet before you start even cooking the food. You know what I'm saying? What do you think is going to happen to us?
Yeah, the division you got is weakened now. Now Russell's not there no more, so we should try to be the top team in the division now.
We should, huh? I agree.
Seahawks was a big problem for us.
God knows.
If we ever beat Seahawks, we always make it to either the championship or the Super Bowl. That was the only team that always in the way of us not doing something good.
Fly Guy, that's what's so funny. Last year, the Hawks handed us our booty twice, and we still got, you know, it's amazing. So we just learned to live like people say about COVID. We have to learn to win in spite of the Hawks. We have to learn to live with COVID in spite of it being with us, you know? Compared COVID to the Hawks.
The reason last year we made it to the Final Four is because another team beat us.
Yeah.
If we would not go to the Final Four. So that was the biggest problem for 49ers was Russell. So Russell's not there anymore.
I know, right? I can't wait to see what they look like without him. I can't wait. Each and every week, I'm going to be tuning after our game, replay. Okay, so watch the Hawks. There they go. Oh, Hawks. You guys look normal now, don't you? Yeah, I can't wait. Oh, I've been waiting for this.
I don't think they make the playoffs. You think they make the playoffs?
Hell no. And I'm serious this time. I lie sometimes, and I know the Hawks are better. I used to disregard how good they were and disrespect them and say, Hawks they ain't going nowhere this year. And as soon as I said that, they do well. So this year, finally, Fly Guy, we can say it with pride. No shame.
And another thing is the Cardinals, DeAndre Hopkins is out for 6 games. That's another thing.
Fly Guy, which makes me wonder, how long has he been doing PEDs? And then he act like, I didn't know. I didn't even know. Yeah, you did. Come on, D-Hop.
Yeah. So that's another win for us, too. And but we should be the top team in the Rams. We always beat the Rams. I don't know. We always beat the Rams. They got us in the Final Four or whatever.
I know. But it took us to be broke down to actually, even if Kowalski makes that catch, it still took the 49ers to be, I had Trent Williams dragging one leg as he was trying to run. I got Garoppolo out there with every part of his body hurting. Those things don't happen. The Rams are still sitting at home crying, we just can't beat the 49ers. They know they got away. They know they got away.
And then the Rams game we lost in the championship game, I blame that on Kyle Shanahan, is because that was the opportunity for Trey Lance to come in and change the whole. We would never know Trey Lance come in, we win the Super Bowl right now.
Yeah,
Jimmy G was already hurt. His shoulder and stomach.
But you still need a Trent. You still need a Trent Williams, though. You know, because
Lance
without Trent,
is more.
the right side of your offensive line is already screwed. And then you got Trent coming from the other side. So, Trey, that kind of pressure, it might have been scary.
But you never know. You never know.
Well, no,
Because Jimmy
you
G
don't, but still.
He's like Jimmy G didn't do too good anyway, so his thumb is hurting, shoulder hurting, and you gave all this capital for Trey Lance. You didn't want to go with Trey Lance. Like, why did you give all this capital for Trey Lance? That's why people started asking questions now. Like, if you didn't want to go with Trey Lance in the playoff when Jimmy G was beat up, why did you give all this capital to go get him in the first place?
You say Debo asked that question?
No, I said the media asking that question.
No.
Like, why Kyle didn't go with Trey Lance in the playoff when Jimmy G thumb was like, can't even throw the ball right?
I asked that 4, 5, 6 weeks earlier. And, you can kind of assume why. But maybe, I don't know. Could be wrong.
That's
but,
why, That's why people started thinking, like, is Trey Lance ready? I don't think so. Is Trey Lance? This is what I see about this year's season coming up. Either we the best team in the NFC, or we just an average team that
Oh, don't use the A word, D. Oh, no. Fly guy. We cannot be average.
The way I see it, Trey Lance just come out and explode, like becoming the quarterback. Everybody was like, whoa, this is what they was waiting on. And then we become the best team in the NFC.
That's the best scenario.
Or he struggled and we missed the playoff by a few games. It can happen.
You know how bad writers, we will get beat up so bad. If we fall next year, Fly Guy, get ready for the fallout. If we fall next year. You know what, though? I can almost promise you Kyle is going to protect Trey. There's no way he's going to put Trey in a position to lose. If we're probably going to run the ball even more this year than we did last year, number one. Number two, it's going to be things that he can for sure handle in practice. It's not going to be, but people think crazy about that. Just bombing deep downfield, dropping one on the edge of the sidelines. That is not going to happen. That takes time. And Trey had no time last year to polish that kind of game. So you're going to see a lot of runs. He's not that good throwing over the middle of the field. He's going to fix it. Kyle's going to have effect. He's going to find his strengths, and he's going to go to those. So,
yeah, that's why I say either Trey Lance just blow up and we become the best team in the NFC, or I can see him struggle and then we miss the playoffs. I can see that.
The defense is going to be carrying us this year to Russell Wilson came in the league the same way, Fly Guy. He wasn't all that in his first couple of years. He was good, but not ready to just kick butt yet. So the defense, Richard Sherman will talk about that with you all day. Yeah, we carried that fool, man. He's good. He wasn't nothing special. It was all about the Legion of Boom, baby.
Some of the passes he was making to Brandon Ayuk, they was not pretty passes. Brandon Ayuk was making good catches.
Yeah, he'll get.
If you've seen them,
but Josh Allen came in the league looking like that too. So Trey just needs time. I kind of feel he just needs time, and he'll iron that out.
Yeah, we're just hoping for the best, but I think we can be the best team or barely make the playoffs.
No, we're gonna be fine. Yeah, 10 win. You know what though? I worried about 10 wins though, Fly Guy. It's gonna take 11 wins to get you in the playoffs this year. I got a feeling.
And some people, same thing I was telling you before, they were talking about that today. I've seen some shows about Jimmy G can take a pay cut and stay on the team just to be a backup for Trey Lance, to have another insurance for the season.
He's not going to.
And I can see that happening too.
No, he's not. Jimmy's not going to agree to that. He doesn't want anything to do with that. Jimmy's going to either want to compete for the job and lose to Trey Lance fair and square, or get me out of here. He's been in the league too long. He's not going to play that role. He just came from the CCG. Why would he want to do that? He's not going to do that.
They were saying Jimmy G needed to look out for himself and tell his 49ers to cut me now, because if Jimmy G wait before the season start, he passed a physical, and then 49ers decided to cut him right before the season start, Jimmy G would have no team to play for. He would lose all his money, and he'd be screwed all around. So that's why, they were like, Jimmy G needs to stand up for himself and be like, you know what, get me out of here now.
You know what though? Jimmy probably does not have a problem getting a job if they cut him at whatever time they cut him. G, his problem is his salary. Because the guys that got jobs, those guys aren't better than G.
Think about it, you go to training camp, you do all this thing, and then
Now that's the problem. You need to get to the 49ers. What people need to know, the 49ers are not going to do a number on Jimmy G. He's been too valuable to them, and they've done too much and accomplished with him. They actually probably think they owe him more than that. Just to all of a sudden cut him off like that, I doubt very seriously whether they're going to do that.
Not 25 to back up Trey Lance.
And they're not going to do it. See, that's why they got to find a place to put him. They're not. Kyle's going to put him on the field and say, guys, whoever wins the job wins the job. That's just going to happen because we're not paying Jimmy G to pay $25 million, and he's not going to take a pay cut. And for $25 million, he'll get cut if he loses out to Trey Lance in a competition. But that's about where that'll end as far as being mean. He'll have an opportunity, and he'll fail.
Well, how about both of them share the playing time?
Well, see, that's something I guess we'll have to wait and see on that. I don't know. But as far as just being mean to Jimmy, I don't know if people should look for that to happen. But we'll see. Flag, we ran out of time. Let me see you tomorrow, fam. All right?
Yeah.
All right. And I come from the land down under. Tony!
Ronbo.
Tony, how you doing, man?
Not bad.
This is that time of year when I'm always amused. Every year these prognosticators get this friggin' wrong by miles. They always pick teams way too early, looking at nothing more than just superficial things like who's on the team and, not to take into account injuries and problems going on around. Who knows what's going to happen to every team in the league, right? But it is funny to watch some of the things that are being said. Tony, sizing up the talent we've got now, and Tony, you can already predict a couple of the guys in the draft are going to play way better than we expect, right? So this is what happens every year, it seems. What are your thoughts on where the 49ers are driving this car?
I only got one complaint, Ronbo, and that's Kyle Shanahan. For all the beautiful things that he does, he's got a fault that gets up on my nerves severely, and that's preservation of our players. I'm sick and tired of Kyle when he goes to the press conference and he answers that same question year in, year out. Oh, well, we went with a hot hand. Stick your hot hand up here where the sun don't shine, all right, and rotate the goddamn players, Kyle. All right, we know we've got shit hot players, but we don't want them injured. We want them preserved. If you've got a lead and the opposition team may or may not score in garbage time, rotate the players around. Give them some field time. Give them some game time instead of just keeping them there suited up looking pretty on the sideline. Whether it's the especially the defense. We can't afford to lose big-name players on the defense. And we've got a plethora of running backs in that part of the stable. For Christ's sake, rotate them.
He sat there and he watched Elijah Mitchell slowly get beaten to death each and every Sunday that he had him out there. That's true. I don't know what he was thinking.
Seriously, the only fault I can pick in his team, and it's got nothing to do with any of the boys that are playing on the team. It's Kyle. Mm-hmm. He needs to rotate these guys. Like, if we got a lead, take Bosa off. Give these other guys some playing time. So if we do make it to the big dance, they've already had plenty of playing time on the field. And my only worry is our center coming back, Matt.
I know nobody wants to talk about it. I don't talk about it because it's a very frightening subject. Oh, my.
Brundle
Brindle.
can be there. I can just see people running straight up the gut.
Oh, how about this kid Brindle? I don't know anything about him other than his name. But you know what? That's not good. If he's... well, maybe, you know what? Brindle learned behind Alex Mack to some degree, I would imagine. I don't know how cerebral he is. I don't know how well he can read a defense and communicate that back to the quarterback position. But I'm sure Kyle's probably trying to hustle him up to speed. Yeah, Tony, you know what, though? Let me ask you this. You know, you look at Kyle, and let's go that angle you just went. I'm looking at Cliff Kingsbury, and Pete Carroll, and John Cheerleading McVay. Are any one of those people somebody you'd rather have as opposed to Kyle Shanahan?
Look, like I said to you, Ronbo, I like Kyle, but there's a few parts of his game that are consistent with losing. You know what I mean? Like fourth quarter, he freezes up, and not enough rotation of our players. And I think these guys that have played with him, like, you know, that have coached together with him, slowly, they're starting to figure him out. And all they needed was the personnel to run over the top of him. Yeah. And McVay, well, you know, he showed he could do it. And we don't know what the Dolphins dudes and Salah. I mean, Salah, he's a very cerebral guy. And you have to give him a couple of years to build a team. Like Kyle took 3 or 4 years to build this team. Mm-hmm. And
Salah was a part of that process. So, yeah.
Yeah. So once these guys build their team, they know every inch of Kyle. They know how he thinks. They know how, you know, what his game plans are against harder teams, lesser teams. Kyle has to turn a corner. And, you know, I believe that by rotating his players a lot more and keeping them fresh, and I also believe that will keep our team injury prone.
You get hurt when you get worn out and tired. You do. And Kyle knows this.
Because, you know yourself, you get worn out and you fall off the ladder, or, you know, you'll make a mistake.
Sure. Fatigue.
So,
you know, you can condition as hard as you want all year long, but if you're out there too many minutes, especially when there's capable backups to come in, that makes no sense. Tony, you're preaching to the choir, man. I've been bothered by that for some time now. God, Kyle.
And as far as Trey Lance goes, I think they're a bit worried about us, you know, a certain part of his game. What that part of his game is, I don't know. But it might be the quick release. It might be throwing the ball over the middle, which is one of Shanahan's favourite things to do. I don't think they're worried about him throwing a long ball or a fast ball or a hard ball, because we all know he can do that.
Can do that, yeah.
So, you know, that's
the thing.
Of it.
They're going to have to alter a few of the concepts for his strength. I mean, he's not going to be a quick get the ball out guy, snap it off quick, Debo running across the middle and things like that. So I can't imagine which direction you're going to take. He does do some other things really good, and I'm sure Kyle's going to maybe alter some of his concepts in that direction.
Even if he does, he's supposed to be the guru, and we've got the team, the personnel to support Trey in those particular type of alterations. So, you know.
Yeah.
But apart from that, if all those things, if you just rotate players, keeps them injury free, I can't see us having too many problems against anyone. And the other part is, I hope our DBs, defensive backs, can flip the field a little bit more often than they have in the previous years.
We got some fast guys. Just like you mentioned earlier, what we ought to do with all these speedsters coming in is flip the field. And we got a couple now, 4-3 guys. Who's that kid? You got Javarius and, I forget his name. He's a guy sub 4.4 too. So as far as out running our guys going downfield, we got that covered now. Ambry Thomas is quick too.
Well, I hope so because some of these teams have got quarterbacks that are continuously throwing the ball over our defensive backfield, and when the other dude catches it, it's bye-bye.
Gone.
They always go in for a touchdown.
Tell me we're going to go. I'm going to tell you what. I'll be back tomorrow looking for you. All right?
All right, brother. Shout out to everybody, and see you in the next chapter.
Looking forward, Tony. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, man.
And, hey, Steven.
Hey, Ronbo.
Steven. Well, Steven, we're how you doing, Steven? Happy Mama's Day, by the way. So,
Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to all mothers out there.
yeah. So, Steven, we're looking at how we look against the rest of the NFC West and other teams if you want. You know what's really funny? Only a couple of AFC West, one AFC West team was picked to be, looks more sound than we do, which is why I was confused. But looking at the NFC West, nobody's better than the 49ers other than the Rams. And the Rams, of course, due to the fact that they won the Super Bowl. You automatically get respect in the upcoming year, But that'll wear off after week 3. And, see, where do you put us in the NFC West? And maybe gauge against the rest of the league as well, in accordance to what we've done with this team since free agency and the draft. And, it's a little tough to make the draft, but we always come up with a couple of tough guys. Go ahead.
Well, grading by the draft, I'm kind of uncertain, especially with the fact that we have 4 QBs and how many running backs and a wide receiver. I mean, granted,
double-digit
our
running backs.
was grown up.
I forgot about Purdy.
Yeah.
I forgot all about him, Steven.
I think
we're going to get another one, too.
Or something like that.
Who?
I can't remember. I think his nickname was like Mr. Irrelevant.
That's it. No, that's a name given every year to the last person picked in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant. That's it. Yeah.
My thing is I don't know. I mean, our offensive line, even in the undrafted free agency, looks a little shaky, to be honest. I mean, all the linemen we picked up, that should have been the top of our priority, aside from getting a quarterback or any more for the defensive side. I mean, really, other than corners and maybe the safety, it's just we were fine. We were fine on defense for the most part, but adding Drake Jackson, I think is a little too much. But I mean, hey, who am I to say? All right,
Steven, let me get you. I want to get more on that. Now, what should they have done with that first pick in round 2? I was shocked. I'm never going to be shocked again, though. This is what the 49ers do in the draft. Whatever pick they have first, it's going to be allocated toward a defensive lineman. It's like one guy made a joke. The 49ers are going to send you a barrage of unexhaustible defensive linemen until you die, and that's how they're going to beat you. It says,
really,
you know what?
This really is, honestly.
God, Niners. Yeah.
Like, our offensive line is scarce. It's real scarce. I mean, honestly, I could have been fine with any offensive line position. Anyone that could play the right side, I'd have been fine. Completely fine. I'd be like, okay, cool, that's a good pick. But the entire draft, they really didn't pick anything for the offensive line. It's like they hold hope for McGlinchey and who is it, Brunskill?
Well, we picked one guy up. What's his name? We gotta get used to these new guys. We got one offense in round 3.
And then Danny Gray. That's another issue that I got. I'm like, if you're gonna pick a wide receiver, why go for the one person who's way, way out of the norm? You know what I mean?
We got everything else.
But then again,
we needed a guy who could run, and Danny can run.
Man. He's just, I don't know. Like, if you look at his video footage, he runs a lot like Debo. And I thought they wanted to get away from that.
But he's a lot faster.
Like Debo do his thing. But like because from what I saw was Danny Gray is really good at running a straight line, just like Debo.
Mm.
You don't expect him to do like any kind of flashy move to shake him off. You're not going to expect him to route somebody. It's just.
He could be
He's
the
just a
guy this
straight
year, though,
guy.
Steven. He's that guy who's going to bust downfield, and he's got to be respected due to that speed, right? We've been needing.
I hope so.
Yeah, that's going to be his job. He's not going to be doing Debo's job because we got Debo to do his own job. And now you've got every element. You've got a speed merchant. You've got a route runner because Ayuk is vicious. I had no idea what he did to Diggs against the Cowboys. Shocked me. Diggs looked like a jerk.
Oh, yeah.
And Diggs is bad. I mean, he had an INT in the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season every week. And Ayuk said,
Yep.
"Yeah, he ain't played against me yet, Jack. He ain't getting nothing here today." And I said, "Wow, whoa." So so Ayuk with the routes,
Ayuk is
Debo
good.
with the power, and now you need to get the speed element. Now you that's a full set, and you got Jawan Jennings. I'm sorry, we got that.
No, I'm kind of like here's the thing. I'm a little on the fence about Danny Gray because it's like like I said, I thought he's very much just a fast guy, which is nice. But if you're running a straight, it's kind of a one-trick pony. But 49ers have surprised me and surprised all of us time and time again with picking these players out of these random-ass universities that do really well. Point case being Elijah Mitchell. How many times do we think Trey Sermon was going to outshine Elijah Mitchell, and Elijah Mitchell just so happened to outshine Trey Sermon, not by a little, but by a lot?
Again, from the school you just mentioned, one of those out-of-the-way schools that you have to come into this town and stop at the gas station and ask, "Can you tell me how to get to blah blah university?" Yeah, you have to get back on the highway. You should GPS that. You're never going to find it otherwise.
It's super. It's crazy. It's crazy to me because it's like, I really have high hopes in terms of the 49ers draft picking these random out of the blue players. I mean, look at Purdy. Purdy's stats aren't nothing to laugh at either. His stats are actually pretty decent for his college.
Everybody
Not
keeps
only
saying that.
but
Yeah,
it's over. I think it was over 1,200 yards, passing yards. That's pretty damn good for
He's
a college
athletic
QB.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, maybe he's our backup to Jimmy or Trey, and we can get rid of Sudfeld, hopefully, because that poor man has been jerked around so many times.
They like Sudfeld, though, Steven. I don't understand. I don't understand what the love is for Sudfeld. We've all seen him play. You know what he reminds me of? What's that really tall guy that was last seen in Chicago playing backup? They kind of remind me of each other.
Andy Dalton?
What? No, not Andy Dalton. I'm talking about the backup to Dalton and Justin. Tall dude. He played with the Rams about 3-4 years ago, too. The guy is just awful, but he's still in the NFL. And Sudfeld, they kind of remind me. Same kind of play.
Yeah, I think it's just like a feel bad kind of thing, like a sympathy. Like, we're just going to keep you because we know that if we let you go, no one else is going to pick you. But, I mean, overall, I think we're going to do kind of decent. I mean, our main target is going to be the Rams. Our main target is going to be the Rams. I don't have any worry about, Kyler Murray or D-Hop because D-Hop's gone for 6 weeks. That's almost the whole season right there. Just kind of gone. Then we also have to worry about Hollywood Brown.
No, 49ers breakout, not Nick Foles. I'm talking about that guy. I think his name is Mike Glennon. Remember that guy?
Whoa. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Sudfeld
about.
and Glennon. Same play style. Nothing to offer.
Yeah, I forgot he existed.
See? Everybody got over Glennon. So,
Man, all you know is that Ronbo, if the sources are true for what I'm seeing, that Kyler Murray might actually sit out, our only real threat is going to be the Rams. That's it. And I can guarantee you, it's not going to play out the same as it did in the NFC Championship.
Well, here's the thing. Without D-Hop, Kyler Murray is going to be crying about things. And if he doesn't put that team on his shoulders, which is what they're giving him a raise because he demands more money because he feels that he is worth so much more, they're going to say, all right, you got your money. Listen, D-Hop's not going to be around here for 6 weeks. We're not going 0-6, are we? And Kyle says, y'all didn't tell me D-Hop wasn't playing, though.
That wasn't part of the contract. What happened?
I hope they can post that up and film it. Hey, Steve, we got to go, though. Come on, I'll be back tomorrow, and let's see what develops around the NFL, especially with the 49ers. All right?
All right. I think in the league, I think we're right around number 6, to be honest. I think number 6 is where I see the 49ers in the entire league. That's AFC and NFC.
All right.
Number 2 in the NFC.
All right. We just have to stay healthy. The team is good. We just got to stay all the people out there. All right, Steven. Talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Ronbo. Talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night.
Looking forward to you too, fam. Roll here. Get in here.
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Doing great, Rowan. You know, we can feel good right now, Rowan, because the season hasn't gotten started. There's no stress level to attend to on Monday. You know, normally this time of day, we're like, you know, we could have won that game if we just would have. Kyle, what was he thinking? Oh, Jesus, Jimmy. You know that stuff you go through during the regular season. So that's why it's comfortable right now. We don't appreciate this time of year as much as we should, actually.
It's like we kind of want chaos, to happen just to see that chaos in a way.
Makes you feel alive.
Yeah. So it's like people are wanting that chaos, and it's funny. But I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean.
But Ron, looking at us compared to the rest of the division, it's I don't know that I tell people there's something about that Hawks uniform. When I see that uniform on the field, I know I'm going to go through some trauma. But the Cardinals seem to me becoming a hot mess. You look at Kyler's situation, he's become a diva before he should have. You got D-Hop that's not going to be with the team to start the season for 6 weeks. That's asking a lot. You got rid of your top receiver already. What's his name? The kid that they sent to Jacksonville. They've got
Christian Kirk,
Yeah, and they don't know. JJ is going to be all right. Chandler's gone. I mean, the team looks like they're in trouble. And then, of course, the Rams. Rowan, you look at all that, and from what we've done, what is your assessment?
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, if we were talking maybe 2 months ago, I would have said the 49ers have gotten worse, right? Because when you looked at the beginning of their offseason, they didn't improve at safety. They got worse at safety. They improved at cornerback, though, but the offensive line was a big question mark in a way. But the 49ers, they didn't go out. They didn't get these splashy players. Instead, how do they fill their roster out? Through tons of depth at positions of need. You see it offensive line. You see it cornerback. Like the last caller said, at running back, one of the most important positions for our football team, even wide receiver, right? Like almost every position right now has a overload of talent. And so it's going to be interesting because good players are going to get cut, as a matter of fact, because of that.
Agreed. And this is usually the case. But they like that, Rowan. How many times have you heard Kyle and John say, it's a good problem to have? Why, Kyle? You know what? If you'd get a blue chip player here and there, we wouldn't have to be talking about it's a good problem to have. It's not a problem if you got the real right talents in there. Rowan, when you get to, well, go ahead, but I want to hear your Bobby Wagner in L.A. All right, but go ahead.
Yeah. So for Bobby Wagner in L.A., right, that's an interesting thing because to me, when I saw the Rams last year, they aren't playing in many 2 linebacker sets, and their 1 linebacker last year that they played. I understand there are the occasional pass scenarios where they're going to play Troy Reeder, who was out there last year, who wasn't really a good linebacker at all.
Nope.
But for the majority of the time, they were playing Ernest Jones, the linebacker, who was a rookie last year, and he played fairly well. So I'm wondering, how are they going to incorporate Bobby Wagner, whose pass coverage skills have somewhat deteriorated as his career has gone on? Are they going to use him in that Ernest Jones role, maybe as a run specialist in a way? Because to me, while Bobby Wagner is a great addition, the pass coverage liability over the middle of the field still stands for the Rams. And for me, I don't necessarily view Bobby Wagner, I think Bobby Wagner is a phenomenal player, but I don't view him as a major addition to the team because of how much they've lost, right? Look at the offensive line. Multiple starters are gone. Andrew Whitworth and Austin Corbett left in free agency.
Yep.
At cornerback, they lost their cornerback number 2, Darius Williams, and they didn't really improve that position either because they didn't have the capital to do so, right? Dante Dion, I think it was a 7th-round pick last year, is going to be their second cornerback this year, which is somewhat of an issue. So, like, there are these numerous different places, right? Even safety. They lost John Johnson last free agency, and I don't think they have a viable replacement at the moment. And while they were in the race for Matthew, they obviously didn't get him. So there are a number of holes that they've lost, specifically on their team. Whereas for our holes, I don't necessarily think, while we've lost blue chip talent, I don't necessarily think we're in as bad of a position. However, I do think that they still are the favorite in the division just because the places that they have talent, it's more solidified talent, whereas we're kind of counting on some of the younger players. You know what I mean?
Yes, and that's what we do. But remember, Rowan, would you give our coaching staff, though, it seems to take clay and form it into something that may be playing what you might actually say, if you knew this kid before he came to the San Francisco 49ers, you might say he's playing above his head half the time. What they did with Ambry Thomas in those weeks leading up to the end of the season is nothing short of phenomenal. He looked so good compared to the time he had to get that good.
And it's crazy, right? Because when you look at his path in college, he had really one good season. In 2019 was his main year. 2020 was the COVID year. He also had a sickness that kind of impacted him during college. And then like that caused him to lose weight. And weight fluctuation obviously isn't great when you're
not a good thing for
playing speed.
Not for football.
But then he comes back. Like I thought the Thomas pick was a little bit of a reach, but it was a 2022 pick, and they developed him pretty well, right? He starts only in week 14 against the Bengals. Pretty tough first assignment against Jamar Chase. I know the first 2 weeks,
it was rough. He had some top caliber talents to deal with. Exactly.
And it's not like he was pretty good right up until the catch point, then improved as the season gone on. I think he's a good rotational piece now that you can implement in 2022 in certain scenarios, right? You don't, and he at least like at the very least he provides quality depth should one of these guys get injured, which the 49ers have definitely had. Yeah.
And see that, and that's why when you like we're saying, we're looking at depth. We're not necessarily looking at a Pro Bowler, but we're looking at guys that are going to come in there and do an adequate job. And then the coaching staff is going to make you, when you look at Chris Kasurik, and D'Amico is not going to be with us another year. If that defense, Rowan, if it does that again, I'm already concerned about who's going to be our DC next year because he is so out of here if he does this 2 years in a row. Oh, my God.
Right. Yeah, most definitely. And I mean, it's interesting because before the 49ers, like, I mean, we've been blessed, right, with 2 great defensive coaches right now. I'd assume Kosaric probably gets promoted to coordinator if we don't hire.
He doesn't want it though, Rowan. Remember last year, he doesn't want that job. He wants to stay right where he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he probably will be the highest paid defensive lineman if he isn't already. But like, we've been able to get these guys, and the good thing about the 49ers, especially their defense, people want to come and coach this team, right? We saw earlier this season or off season, Anthony Lynn came in, a very respectable coach who probably could have got a fairly high role anywhere else. Comes in to coach the 49ers as a running backs coach in replacement for Bobby Turner, who's taking a year off, to kind of reestablish themselves, because you know that the talent on this team is already heavy enough that your role in a way is, while you're very important, D'Amico Ryans' adjustments were extremely important last year, you're still in a good position to succeed.
Mm-hmm. And D'Amico learned a lot last year from week 1 to week. It's like that game against Green Bay, it was not necessary for that catch by Devontae Adams to be made. We didn't see that happen anymore the rest of the year, not in the closing seconds of a game. And
I can even point to another scenario in Cincinnati, right? We were supposed to lose that game. Third down, we need to give up only a field goal for this game to go into overtime. Bengals are near our red zone. What does D'Amico do? He adjusts, right? He gets that pressure in. Joe Burrow gets sacked and they kick a field goal, and then we go and win that game in overtime. Because we were not on a roll until those last 2 drives with Jimmy Garoppolo. And before that, we really, really relied on our defense, holding that Bengals team, which was one of the most prolific offenses, to just 23 points. That's a good job by D'Amico for sure.
And I don't know who gets credit though for that catch that Ambry made with OBJ running down the field. I said, wow, he finally did. Like you said, at the catch point, Ambry was always there. They never beat him out through a play. It's just when he got there, he couldn't make the play. But you weren't going to, the other guy wasn't going to get the ball. He's knocking it down. It's bouncing off his hands. He's there. But this day, Ambry Thomas makes the catch. OBJ never signed it. I said, look at that. Oh, my God, he finally did it. He made him pick it up. We win the game. We're going to the NFC playoffs.
Yeah, and I mean, at that moment, right, it's important for a guy like Ambry to play with the swagger that he plays with, right? You saw him play with you've seen him play with this demeanor throughout the entirety of the year. And I think that that's something the 49ers really like out of these what do you call them? Out of these cornerbacks, this demeanor that they have, because when you see Travis Ward, that guy's a dog, bro. That guy will not back down from a fight. We saw him give Tyreek Hill his own celebration. Obviously, cornerbacks will have tough moments, right? Because they're cornerbacks. That's what they're kind of like. That's just in the nature of the game because it's so offensive centric. But like it's important for you to have your head up and be super self-confident as a cornerback.
You do, and I tell you, having played as that secondary, you do have to have an attitude because that's what keeps you fired up. It keeps your confidence going because you've talked so much now. You got to back it up. It fires you up.
Exactly.
It really does. Ron, always great to talk to you. We're gonna go. We're out of time, but listen, I appreciate you, fam. Let's if you got time, I hope we can drop in tomorrow too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Right. Thank you for having me on, for sure, man.
Always a pleasure, Ron. All right, fam. Have a great night. Happy Mama's Day, too.
Yeah, to you, too.
Thanks, fam. There goes Ron. All right, and let's go out and check out Tony Atlanta Way. Tony.
Ronbo, what's happening?
Tony, man, we're just, doing that ridiculous thing that happens this time every year. People start making predictions that they know that probably 9 out of 10 times aren't going to happen, but it's always fun to do so. And, Tony, as a matter of fact, let's spin this toward your direction as well, though. You can talk about the 49ers in their division, but you guys in the Aints, you got the Saint. Oh, you got Tampa Bay in your. I keep forgetting about Tampa Bay in your division as well. Panthers? Wait, the Panthers in your division?
Yeah, and Carolina got a good defense. I know everybody in Carolina sucks. I like the way they're building their defense, though, Ronbo. They're pretty good.
Who's coaching in Carolina?
What's that guy, Matt? I can't think of his last name. The college coach. Came from Baylor.
Oh, yeah. Is he worth is he going to be able to do anything with that team?
I think he's going to be on. I think he's kind of on the hot seat. I think the mainstream media is saying that. I don't know.
Yeah, because ever since that name sounds familiar. Because ever since what's his name went to Washington, what is his name? See, that's a good coach. Panthers made a mistake.
Yeah, but he is a very good coach, Ron Rivera.
Yeah, Ron's going to have the Washington team. It ain't going to take him long. He's got that military presence because he is military, and that works, actually.
Yeah, because Ron Rivera he was on the 85 Bears team. Buddy Ryan, the defensive coordinator, Rex Ryan's dad.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy Ryan was a military guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
They instill that discipline. Belichick seems like that, too, He just, it's all about the entirety of the force, no one individual. I'm not going to stand around here.
Grew up in the military. Yep.
Oh, no wonder.
Because his dad was in the Navy.
Yeah. Those kind of guys, because, nowadays it's about the player's coach. As well with, what's his name that just left that you really loved out of Atlanta, the coach.
I love Dan Quinn. I still love
Quinn's
Dan. They get mad at me saying it. Dan Quinn's an excellent coach.
Players coach.
Good head coach.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Quinn was a very good coach.
Also, and Kyle's a player's coach. And you had two at that time. It's no wonder you guys did so well. Kyle being a player's coach, Dan a player's coach. Arians. When I look at Bruce Arians, I'm confused about Arians. Aaron's is a real nice guy. I think he's a player's coach, actually. He has
He's a
his
player's
moments
coach, yeah.
when he gets crazy, but mostly people love him. So, yeah. Hey, GB, good point out. Ron Rivera, Seaside High, lived in Fort Ord. I read that up on him, too. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
But the one that I like the most, I'm not a fan of the team, but I like Mike Tomlin, Ronbo. I love Mike Tomlin as a coach.
I do, too. Every time he does a press conference, I can't wait. The dude kills me. Mike's always coming up with these incredibly good zingers. And I love his cool. Can you imagine, Tony, you got AB on your team and the media's calling you up after one of his bouts and you didn't answer questions? Ooh, he was good.
Something wrong with that guy.
Hey, where's AB now? Has he been thrown out of the league?
He's a free agent, and I hope nobody signs him. I'll
He
say
is
it
a
on
free
national
agent.
TV. When you can see my face, he does not belong in our game. You know how it is, Ronbo. The league makes you. You don't make the league. The league didn't come to you and say, "Hey, they drafted you and all that," but there's over 30-something thousand players that played in this league. And when you come in, you do what you're supposed to do. When you got to go, you got to go.
You know, it's a thing going on apparently in Pittsburgh, though. You Le'Veon Bell, like you're saying, he thought he was bigger than the NFL. Looking for a job.
Where's Le'Veon Bell at now?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
They hurt themselves, Ronbo. They hurt themselves.
I don't know how you get like that, too. The game is the reason why your life is such as it is. Don't abuse the game. What are you doing? Have respect for everybody around you.
One of my Falcons reports yesterday, Earl Thomas is being brought up on charges by his wife. Him and his wife are crazy, Ronbo. That story with the guns and all that. I guess he threatened his wife. He hopes their breaks get cut and all this crap. He's trying to get back in the league. I hope nobody resigns Earl Thomas. He doesn't deserve to be in our league.
I thought Earl was just one of those episodes where he lost his mind temporarily. I didn't know there's more drama. Tony, how late is that? How recent is that news that you just gave me or us?
Yesterday.
Oh!
Him and his wife, they're divorced. The divorce is final, but I guess they were getting into it again about something, and he says he hopes somebody cuts their brakes with the kids in them. Then people say, well, Earl's suffering from CTE. You still don't say nothing like that.
About your children?
About your wife.
What? God, Jesus. And the guns?
We have no place for that.
See,
we have no place for that in the NFL.
This is why.
And you know about Antonio Brown, Kaepernick is garbage. He said that last week. So I'm like, typical. It doesn't.
There is something to the CT thing. Some people have been hit too hard too many times. Earl Thomas, you look at Johnny Depp and his wife, and they said that some story out there that they took turns beating each other up. And I said, come on now, come on now. I don't know. This is why I say, Tony, to remain sane on the planet Earth is really something special.
Well, all those people that we just named, they need to take that money away and give it to sane people like me or you, and we'll show them how to really handle having that type of money.
Hey, we had another guy too. Our tight fullback. Oh, what was his name? With the red hair. He lost his mind in front of a cam. Beat up some old guy in a hotel room. And then the camera was still on him. Fam, who was our fullback? I used to love the way he could play. Why do the most talented players have these issues? Miller.
What team he played for? You guys?
Bruce Miller.
Yeah.
Boy, I used to love to watch Bruce play. And suddenly, he snapped.
Yeah.
You
guys ready
for
your rookie count?
Huh?
You guys ready for your rookie count this week?
Always ready. It's only a 3-day thing, though. Too bad.
Make it light.
Yeah. What is it? A week or so between rookie camp, and I got to check the dates. But usually the vets come in shortly afterwards, so it's quick wait. Maybe the following week, actually. So we'll find out.
Ours is this weekend, just like you guys. So
Yeah, only the Jets started early because they needed to. Oh,
we got a gem in that running back from BYU. I saw this from man. We got to start him. We got a 5th round steal.
What's his name?
They were Algiers. I forgot his first name. Algiers out of BYU.
Mm.
We got a steal. I was looking at some of his film, Ronbo. I'm like, yeah, we got to plug him in right away.
Because running backs don't take long. If he's a running back that can succeed in college, he most likely will do as well in the pros, but he's got to do it. If you look like you're struggling all of a sudden, that means you've got some kind of issue at this level. So, yeah, because...
Did you guys say Texas Boy was on the chat?
Yeah, he came in a few minutes and made a brief appearance. I haven't seen him since. He got ran out of here, I guess.
Right, he's watching. Like Tom, he's watching and ready to go with him earlier. I guess it wasn't needed. Something to chase them. There ain't none of them in now, so it's kind of quiet.
Anyway, Tony, we ran out of time. This is quick, but I'll tell you what. I want to see you tomorrow, though. Okay.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to the comedy with them knuckleheads getting back in the chat.
Yeah, it's just so sick. Anyway, have a great night, Tony. Happy Mother's Day, too.
Clowns out, man. Keep tuning those clowns out, man. They'll get out of here. Scattering like roaches when the lights come on.
He said like roaches. What's up, Elder?
Hey, peace, Tone.
All right.
All right, Tony. Have a great
I'll
night.
speak tomorrow. Shout out to you. Shout out to production. We'll talk more about the rookies tomorrow.
Looking forward to it. Night, Tony.
Take care.
Yo, Ellis, since you're already in here, stay in here. Come on in. Ellis.
Yo.
Ellis, so we're looking at us. We haven't got to the Don Burt level of us against the world yet, but we are looking at the Rams, the Hawks, and the Cardinals.
Detroit worse than everybody.
You sound just like him. I
Yeah,
thought it
you
was
are.
him.
Thank you, Don, for the clarification. Detroit worse than everybody.
Ellis, you got a gift, man. I'm telling you.
I'm trying to tell you.
It's him.
But yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Well, no, what do you think? Now, I'm looking at the Cardinals, and I like to make fun of teams that I know are beneath us already. When I look at the Hawks, I see a team that is pretty much spoiled milk being taken out of the refrigerator and thrown in the garbage, and they got to go get another gallon of milk. And then I look at the Cardinals, where Kyler Murray, well, he's raising all that hell. He was the one who was screwing up last year, as far as I could see, a lot. And D-Hop, man, I didn't know I was P. I didn't even know why they call you in for a test. Well, you got to wait. That's 6 weeks you ain't going to be able to play. And then, can you imagine when Tyler Murray got that phone call? Kyler, listen, I just want to break this news to you before you hear from anybody else. DeAndre's not going to be able to join us for the first 6 weeks of the season now. I want you to get your mind ready, in a position to think and believe that you can do this, all right? We're going to depend on you. And Kyler's sitting on the floor. Kyler, you know?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think the Cardinals, the only thing we need to be concerned with is the Rams. Ellis, I feel good about that with what they've lost. We lost some things, but I think their loss have a bigger impact. Like Rowan picked out, we are so strong from the starter to back. We don't need to sit there and watch somebody fail. We can bring somebody else in right quick off the bench. But what are you thinking?
I mean, I put us at the top. I put the Rams, maybe second, tied for second with it's really a coin toss between the Cards and the Seahawks. The Hawks still may find a way to to piss us off. You know what I mean? They tend to do that.
I told you about that. I was sitting around here looking paranoid when we started talking about the Hawks. That uniform. And as soon as I see it, I know I'm gonna go into coma.
You just see red, bullseyes and things. But I put us first. Of course, the Rams got to be second or third, and it's a toss up between the Cards. I think the Seahawks probably will be better than the Cards, but that's just me saying that just because I think all around, with Cheat Carroll and what he seems to always come up with at the end of the year, they'll still get 8 to 10 wins, and they'll probably be neck and neck with the Cards. So it'll just be us in the lamb chops, if I'm looking at it.
Which I find extremely annoying. If the Hawks are in the mix, it's going to be so mad.
Yeah, and it's even with them losing Russell, but because their quarterbacking situation is so finicky. Like if they're really going to take a chance in allowing Geno Smith and what's his name,
Drew Lock.
Mm-hmm. Drew Lock to fight for the position. I mean that's going to be funny.
Hey, Ellis, since you brought that up, chat, we'll address this to you as well. Between Drew Lock and Geno, who's going to win between Drew and Geno for that starting position?
I think Geno will get it because he's a veteran. He's been with the Seahawks for longer. He's more familiarized with the system, with the coaching staff and everything. So just for the sake of comfort and the veteranship and what have you, I think by default Geno gets it. But he's if he gets beat out by Drew Lock, if Drew Lock comes in with guns blazing and he's looking too good, then it could be there could be a quarterback controversy possibly out there in Seattle.
Because here's the thing, man. Niners stink. I've not heard one word about Geno being in company. Well, Drew Lock is this and Drew Lock is that. Nobody's saying Geno anything. So, it's funny. They're not even talking about Geno.
Yeah. Well, he's going to have to learn a whole new system. So, Drew Lock's not going to come in and get the starting position if he doesn't know what the hell is going on. And his familiarity with the team that he just the possibility is really, the percentage that he would come in and just automatically be firing on all cylinders, and just, so cohesive with the offense. And even more than a Geno Smith, to me, doesn't seem realistic. It's not impossible. But if I'm being, logical here and just thinking with all of the various components that I've already spoke on, I see Geno Smith getting the spot. And then Drew Lock maybe having to beat him out throughout the season, if Geno gets hurt or if he gets a few reps and they start experimenting with Drew Lock and he starts to flow and learn the offense and adapt really well, then you can see Geno get moved out. I don't see them having two quarterbacks for the whole season though. So I don't know if they're going to be picking somebody up at some point or what's going on. But again,
you need a third party. You mean because normally with Russell, you could hit him in a Mack truck, he was going to get up. So they probably didn't think they need a third guy.
Yeah, they're not going to get that durability with Geno Smith and Drew Lock. So, but hey, you know what? Keep two quarterbacks. You lose one, now you only have one to depend on, and you have to have them. And then you're going to be stuck with trying to get anybody you're going to be practice squad shopping like we had to do last year for running backs. So
you're probably going to do this year too.
I can see that in the future. If I had a crystal ball, I could see that in the future for the Seahawks. In fact, it's coming to me now. Yeah.
God, Ellis, it's going to be such fun to look at the Seahawks. This after all these years of having to put up with them looking like absolute ass and somehow coming in and beating a 49er team that is doing well. And I just wow. It's a jinx.
Yeah.
Russell, I gotta give him credit though. I've been giving Russell Wilson credit for the last 3 seasons, and I'm done disrespecting him. But I'm glad he's gone. Sick of him, man.
Yeah. Well, we got to see him next year. So he'll be on the Broncos. He'll be on a better team. So we still got to see Russ. Yeah, we still got to see his ass, unfortunately. But DK and them, they did decent in the draft too. They got what was that Kobe Bryant kid? Yep. I think they got a decent receiver as well, and they got a good defensive end. So Pete Carroll's going to come to compete. You know what I mean? We just got to make sure that we turn up the heat on him and bury him. Take advantage of him like they have done us in the past, and
We
they've
have
always
to
been
admit Pete
thorn in
Carroll's
the
a good
side.
coach, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah, shit. I mean, he was damn good at USC. You just got to be honest.
Yeah.
I still gotta call him Cheat Carroll because he's got some little ways about himself, but he's a good coach, and those damn Seahawks gave us some problems, man. So
And him and
gotta
that
keep it
gum.
100.
It was that gum. Everybody's watching his face jumping up and down all the game long, and you missed a play.
Yeah, we get goose egg. Yeah, we get goose egg with the gum. Get goose egg by the gum every game, man. It's terrible. Shut out. Pete Carroll and the gum.
So if we sweep them this year, you know what's going to happen, don't you, Ellis? Yeah, you guys have to wait till Wilson left to finally get a sweep, huh? Any of you Hawks fans come in here talking, we will block you though. Can't take it. You got to go. Can't stand it.
Yeah.
I can only put up with so much.
Yeah, man. It's by default, man. Count your rings. Let's do the ring challenge. You know what I mean? And then then the conversation becomes a cricket like situation. You know what I mean?
I used to do that to him on Twitter all
like
the
we're in the
time.
middle of nowhere. It's quiet.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to say nothing.
Yeah,
I just go get a case full of 49er trophies and post it up. You post that Hawks trophy right next door to ours. It's just comedy. Right? You guys still embracing them old ass trophies. Let me tell you one thing about trophies in the Super Bowl era. They don't get old. They're like fine wine. That's vintage that describes a legacy. Yours says one trophy. What can they say?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, they got to catch up, Ronbo. They got to
never catch up in our lifetime. I'll tell you that right now. And your children either. They won't see it. I'm telling you right now. Anybody just had a baby born recently, that child will never see the Seahawks catch up with the 49ers as far as Super Bowl championships.
And you can bet on that.
Hey,
put the house on it. Put everything we got on it. Yes, sir.
I gotta go, fam. I'm looking for you tomorrow, though. Man, big
peace and love, brother Ronbo.
Hey, shout out to the squad, too. Love them babies, boy. They're cool
thank you. I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you, family, and happy Mother's Day to all the great mothers out there, and
all right.
Peace and love. Shout out to the chat, man. My Niner family chat. You know what I mean? And, let's keep that silence, man. We going anti any other teams unless you're Tony Wright or who else, Ronbo? Who else we got that we consider family? Is that it? It's just pretty much Tony, huh?
Tony, Atlanta Tony. I like Michael out of Chicago. He's fun. Sean out of Arizona is silly, but I enjoy him.
Oh, okay.
He's just a drowning man. He's
like 12.
Yeah,
he sounds like he's like 12 anyway. Aiden, he didn't reach puberty. Aiden reached puberty before he did, clearly. But anyway. Shout out to young Aiden if he's listening, man.
Hey, Ellis, we got to give a shout out to Don Bird, too. Don Bird, if nothing else, Don Bird is hilarious. He brings a lot of comedy to the table. So,
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? They got some good players on there. I like Damon Ra, stuff like that. And, he just comes in and just Detroit versus, Detroit's worse than everybody. and we know that. So thank you for, like I said, the confirmation, Don Bird. We appreciate you. And, yeah.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
Peace, family. Hit that like and subscribe, man. Wipe your feet. What's love?
See, this is one thing I like about this program. We draw the most bizarre people from other teams. Hey, Red Eye, I saw you say you got blocked. You mean by somebody, another person in the chat? We didn't block Red Eye, did we? I saw him right there. I don't think so. Anyway, you were in here, so we couldn't have blocked you. Mike, big shows. Mike Shanahan gives off military officer vibes. He looks like an admiral. Also gives vibes to where if you don't make your bed, you can bounce a quarter off of. He'll make you run 5 for a week. Mike, Mike's got that face too, Papa Dragon. Nah, Bob, get in here, Bob.
Hey, Ronbo, thanks for having me. Good to be back.
Oh, Pop, it's always a pleasure to have you. You know what I'm saying? You doing the Debo. Good to be back.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know what your situation is watching movies right now, man. But I have a new term. It's called Debo mode. Let me just tell you that Scarlet Witch went Debo mode in that new Doctor Strange movie.
Oh,
woo!
Did you watch Strange?
There was no negotiating.
It's good though, huh? Don't give me any details. Oh man, I was waiting for that.
Oh, woo, boy, I was like, "Ooh, she went in Debo mode right there." She said,
"Strange."
She was like, "Oh, is your baby mama still alive?" She's like, "Well, that's good because there'll be somebody left to raise them." I was like, "Ooh,
ooh, now that's a line." Oh my Lord! Okay,
I'm paraphrasing. Of course, paraphrasing. Yeah.
Well, I enjoyed that, Pop. Pop, give me, Pop, bumping off the NFC West, knowing what we know, Pop. What do we stand up? What do we look like? What are you thinking?
I'm I try to be very conservative and realistic, and that way my expectations aren't too high, and I don't get too disappointed. Last year I predicted that we would be 9-8 and make the playoffs, and we got to 10-7 and make the playoffs. Yeah, I'm pick the same thing this year. I'm going to say 9-8. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we still have to prove that we can run the ball effectively, and that is going to be up to the offensive line. That's going to be up to the running back room. I think that's huge because on paper, I don't see how the 49ers really went all in on trying to get that done this year. I think I'm with a lot of people that when you get to the NFC Championship game, I'm thinking you're trying to reload as much as possible so that you can get back because you're that close. And I didn't feel that they did that. I think that they improved the team. I do think that they improved special teams. I think they improved defense. And I think that we are going to improve at quarterback. But as we all know, quarterback can't do it by himself.
Pop, though, you just alluded towards something, and then some of the things that they needed to see if they could make better. They you just mentioned special teams, cornerback room. Mm-hmm. This is where we lost games last year. I'm thinking they kind of did address and only address those positions that fell down, right?
Well, I think you and I both agree with that, but. Last year I thought that part of the slow start happened with poor offensive line play.
And then there's that. Year. They always sacrifice. If we have multiple problems, they always, and I think it's always the offensive line, Pop, now that I think about it.
Well, as far as pass pro, yes. I mean, I think ultimately speaking.
We can always run block. Yeah, that's true.
Run block like nobody's business, but it's like the minute we get in trouble or the minute that we have to put up 6 is when we seem to struggle. Like when they know that our quarterback has to drop back and play. I think it's at that point. 'Cause a lot of people, and I'm not, because I look at the whole tape. It's amazing what happens to your quarterback position when they get used to playing a certain way. And obviously, that Jimmy, once he got to the point where he was really just unloading the ball too quick, it was almost like. What Roethlisberger was like at the end of his career. It was like just getting rid of the ball under 2 seconds and stuff like that. You're not really challenging down the field. You're kind of just compacting and shortening the field for the offense. So if I'm playing the 49ers, for example, that I'm going to do what I can to try to put the ball in the quarterback hands, which is actually the NFL norm. The NFL norm is, hey, let's put the ball in the quarterback's hand. Let's force him to throw the ball. Let's hit him. Let's hit him in the pocket. That's where NFL, really tries to get at you. When you break down lots and lots of 22s, that's what you really see. So it's the quarterbacks that can not only get back and get rid of it quick, but it's the ones that can get rid of it down the field where they have playmakers that have bitch catch radiuses and things like that. Debo doesn't have a catch radius. You want to give Debo the ball in space so he can become a running back after the catch. We don't know what IU has. We know he has long arms, but we don't know what he has yet. But is Trey going to routinely be able to get back there, have the time to let those routes develop? And then is he going to have the patience and wisdom to take care of himself so that, he doesn't take big shots? He minimizes big shots. He gets rid of the ball. Like Jimmy didn't really get rid of the ball on a regular. You know who was master at getting rid of the damn ball? That's Alex Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Stafford.
Yeah, Alex, yeah. Alex.
I know it's frustrating, but he was really good at it.
What was what was his nickname on that birthday thing the other day? It made me laugh so hard. Yeah, Alex, that is him, too.
Yeah. But the plus side, and one of the reasons why I optimistically say 9-8, hoping for better, is because whereas we may have taken a step backwards, I think we took a step and a half forward. So I think that's going to be enough to kind of counterbalance it. But the whole NFC took a step and a half back last offseason. We're all literally most of the talent is in the AFC right now. So that really gives us the chance to be probably the second or third best team in the NFC. And it's because of those reasons, I'm optimistic, because if you can just kind of hang in there, almost like what we did this year, and then get into playoff mode, late October, November, get on a run, get into the playoffs momentum, then anything can happen. Because the one thing that we haven't seen yet is with other teams is we haven't seen other teams go through the adversity that San Francisco goes through, injuries and things like that. And we do have a third wave coming of the pandemic of COVID. We haven't had the third wave. There's always three waves.
Bring that word up, Pop.
It's reality. It's reality. But
life includes COVID now. That's just all it is to it. You just can't get away.
It does. But the pandemic is coming to an end. The point is that the 49ers, they live in a community for the most part that takes it pretty seriously. And I know the 49ers, one of the teams that took it seriously. Unlike my beloved Titans, where nobody out here believes COVID exists. We believe that COVID doesn't exist, and that we believe that Joe Rogan.
No need to take any precautions. Yeah.
So Dr. Joe Rogan, you listen to his podcast, you'll be all right. So some people believe around these parts.
Rogan has gotten himself into so much trouble. Boy, let's not get into that.
Get paid for the country. So anyway, it's going to be very interesting. But I look at the NFC as a whole. I look at the NFC West as a very, very a division that's taken a step back because of the Seahawks. I just don't get the Seahawks. I don't understand why you trade away your best player and have zero plan for it.
Hey, Pop, think about this for a minute, though. You mentioned that, and people talk about the Seahawks and some of their front office activity every year. They seem to find a way to compete, but don't get them in an arena where they've got to make decisions on personnel and decisions on that are going to be impactful. Like you're saying, you don't have a plan B. You're letting Russell Wilson. You're getting rid of Russell Wilson. Bobby Wagner. He just found out while watching TV that he's gone, and you guys do things in a way that's just totally, just really bizarre. So what's going on now is not a surprise, really. But you know what? But if they beat us, Pop, I'm going to be so mad because of saying what we're talking about right now. And they come in and they compete, and fourth quarter, the 49ers are still having to endure the same issues they have with Seattle for years. And I'm going to go crazy. I just know it. I'm just, damn it, Jesus Christ. They ain't got nobody to still. I'm looking forward.
Whenever I look at schedules, I always split the teams. I don't care what the past says. I always say that, okay, if we go to their house, then we have a greater probability of losing that game. I know that the Link is a very difficult place to play in.
We're a good team on the road, though.
But Pete Carroll's he's a good ball coach.
Yeah,
he is a good ball coach. But the fact that they lost Wagner and they lost Russell in the same season, those are two All-Pro players
and leaders.
Yeah. Exactly. The 49ers better not lose those games.
You and me
Seriously,
both are
they
saying it, right? We both believe that. Now, when that game comes, and as I said, if we're sitting in the fourth quarter, we got 2 minutes to go. We're down 7. Somebody please help me understand how in the hell this is happening. And look
Well,
at
that's
Pete
what I'm.
Carroll sitting. Oh, God, Jesus.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like I think I've always thought that Kyle Shanahan is a very, very good. He's a good offensive coordinator. I still question whether or not he is that football leader that just raises the play of the entire team passionately. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
always question, but I question the same thing about Mike Shanahan, to be honest with you. It's like both those guys right now still have to prove that they can take a quarterback, mold him from scratch, and go forward. Both guys seem to do very well when they get a top quality quarterback that's already has experience, and then they learn that system, and then at that point they move forward very well. They've proven they can do that. I know people are going to say, "Well, what about RG3?" I mean,
You know,
I'm going to say RG. Go ahead.
now, there's a long story behind that, and I think some of what went wrong there had something to do with Norm Snead. Not Norm Snead, but what's the owner's name?
Snyder.
Snyder. Yeah, Snyder. Can you imagine the stress of working for that man and knowing he hates you? He hated Mike and Kyle so much that, God, man, a lot of work.
That's true, but winning cures everything.
Yeah.
And like I say, it was all good when RG3 was running around, but RG3 was part of the problem too. So,
Yeah.
but besides the problem, all I'm saying is that he was talented enough to take the NFL by storm that first year. But the minute they get like some tape on you, the minute they get some tape on you and you don't evolve your game, as we saw with Colin Kaepernick, then the NFL has a way of humbling you and making you look very average very, very quickly. So I think ultimately that's what did them in out there.
And
That injuries are free.
Exactly. And Pop, that's why when I look at, you look at over in the Ravens, now Lamar, he said last year, people always started yelling, yeah, we haven't figured out this shit. Lamar, well, I don't think so. So I look at Mahomes. You've got to be able to orchestrate from that pocket. There's going to be times when you have to, and it's usually going to be in those big games, because every year this seems to happen to somebody who was out there just whirling and dirling. Even Kyler Murray. Remember we played him? Damn near broke his leg that year. You've got to stay there for the protection to keep you safe.
You got to be balanced as a QB. You have to be able to have every element of the game covered. If you have if Trey Lance can develop. First of all, he will do it, but it's all about reps. So once he develops more golf clubs in his golf bag, once he gets comfortable with his arm to the point where he's just okay flicking that sidearm or just flicking here and not thinking about mechanics.
Mahomes looking.
Exactly.
That's why Kyle's keeping him in that pocket now. Well, you see Kyle was just consciously trying to make him stay there. Don't move. Stand there. Yeah. Let the protection wait. Let the protection take care of you. Keep your eyes on the field. And, we'll work on when you can escape later. He's taking them by step, because athletes that are really good at running, it's like let's say when you get hit, it's like what do we call it when you get hit on the knee with a hammer? It's like a reflex, So it's tough for them when things are going south to sit there and let the lightning strike, So he'll get
it. That he's going to have to deal with media pressure and things like that. But I mean, even when you can run, the thing that, like I say, the thing that he's got to work on is just not taking on tacklers all the time.
Yeah,
you got to really spots there, because again, we saw what happened to Andrew Luck, incredibly bright quarterback. Man, he was running out, running over people and stuff like that, and it just and he just wound up basically spending his entire offseason in surgeries and rehab and things like that. Trey was injured twice
last year, and against the Arizona game, taking on that pack. Because like in North Dakota, Trey run a man down in a heartbeat, laughed while he's walking down the field. Not now. Stop it. Slide.
No, he did. No, he definitely was on fire last year. He was looking like Bo Jackson in Tecmo Bowl. People bouncing off of North Dakota State. But this is the NFL. You can't do that here. So but it's a
Papa,
smart kid. He's super
he'll
smart.
get there. He's got to.
He'll be. I hope so. I mean, remember, this is still a scratch-off lottery ticket, and this was a very expensive lottery ticket. So we're all hopeful that he'll do well, and we're gonna have to. And he's got the right team, man. He's got a team that they've built up this team. People say, "Oh, we didn't do anything for Trey." Yes, we did. We improved special teams. We improved defense. All that
running backs all over the place. Bob, we're out of time. I'm gonna go, and I tell you what, Monday night should be raw, and looking forward to it. All right.
Okay. All right.
Bob.
So I'm out. Thanks so much. Shout out to production. If you want to see Ronbo take down that Jimmy Garoppolo, smack that like. There's over 20 million people. And
it's going to be ceremoniously taken down. The day Jimmy makes his exit, we'll make it a big deal as Garoppolo comes down off the wall.
Ronbo, we're going to make you do it. Let's get Ronbo's subscribers doubled. Let's double those subscribers by the time the league year starts. So we want to force Ronbo to actually hold the ceremony of taking down the Jimmy G Flathead. Let's get to 50,000 subscribers, y'all. There's 20-something million 49er fans out there. Let's go.
Bob, happy Mama's Day, too, from Bam and Boom's mama, and your lovely wife. All right, fam.
And Mama Dragon gives a shout-out. Back at you.
All right. Y'all have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow.
Like that light. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Bob. And with that said, let's call it a day. Fam, as I said, as I was telling Rowan, this is that relaxed time of the year, no problems. We didn't just get mad because, as we're talking about the Hawks right now, Hawks are butt cheeks. They are done. I mean, they got a couple of players sprinkled around the roster, but that's not going to make up enough difference. They're going to have to go into that same workshop for the next 5 to 6 years before they even become relevant again. Now, I'm telling you, fam, you heard me say that, and I'm not the only one saying that. The Hawks don't look like anybody to be concerned with. If we struggle with the Hawks next year, it's going to be a very, very bad day. I'm going to be so mad I ain't going to know what to do. Big Show says, keep Jimmy up there, Rob. Trey has a $20 scratcher, also known as 2 first-round picks given up and hoping we hit. Show, thanks for the contributions today, by the way, too. Show is fearless TNT member, too. Until takes on his own family members of TNT. I love me some Show. Hey, fam, I'll see you tomorrow. Please, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that like. For the win. You're dying, Hawks. Just don't even think about it.